Thing. And that's what we're going to learn this morning with Michael Jenkins, who's always here to help out with some financial advice, especially when it comes to filing bankruptcy. As many in the new year, you're trying to get finances in order and make good decisions. But we're also putting those tax returns in the back of our head, as many are thinking about filing in the next month or so when we get those W-2s back. So let's make some good decisions in the new year, Michael, because many people are wondering, how would that affect if I'm filing for bankruptcy? What do I get to keep? What am I going to lose? How does that all work?
Okay, well, this is our annual "Can I keep my tax refund if I file bankruptcy" episode. So this is
Here you go.
This is the time of the year that's kind of important. People are filing bankruptcies now, and they're going to be filing taxes in about a month from now or 6 weeks from now. And so what's important is you have to understand that your tax refund is an asset in bankruptcy. It's something that the government owes you back. So just if somebody else owed you money, you have to disclose that in your bankruptcy. If you had lent somebody $10,000 and they owe you and they're actually paying you, you got to put that down as an asset. And so in the same regard, your tax refund is an asset. It's something that's subject to the bankruptcy court. And we've spoken about exemptions in bankruptcy, assets you get to keep. Well, this is one of those assets that has an exemption attached to it, but there's limitations.
Okay.
And so what you first have to understand is, at least in regards to bankruptcy, a tax refund, by definition, is you have overpaid to the government the amount of tax that you would pay in during the year, either through the withholdings on your income taxes or by overestimating for those self-employed people that pay estimated taxes. I have some clients sometimes that come in, we look at their pay stubs, and they're claiming zero, which is going to almost automatically generate a larger tax refund, because at least under the tax law as it applies to right now, when we still have exemptions, you get to at least claim yourself.
Right.
And so then you see people also going plus another $10 extra, and I always scratched my head and go, but why? And some people just like to use their tax refund as a savings device so that they get some money that they ordinarily couldn't save.
A little stimulus at the beginning of the year, when technically it should be zero if everything figured out.
I mean, if it was set up perfectly, you wouldn't get a refund at all. You got all the money that you could use during the course of the year and maximized your take-home pay and came out even. That's, at least for me, that's an ideal situation.
Right.
But other people like forced savings, and this is a technique they can use, except it isn't so great if they're going to be filing bankruptcy towards the end of the year, because then if you've got too big of a refund, then you might have to forfeit some of it. So if you've overpaid your taxes, so your tax person does your tax return and it says that you should have paid in $2,500 for taxes, but instead you ended up paying $4,000 in taxes, so you've overpaid and the government gives you your money back.
Right.
So the limitation, if you file your bankruptcy and you're waiting for your tax refund, in other words, if we file your case today and you file a month from now, this is the time of the year where the bankruptcy court is asking to review your tax returns, because since that's an asset and nobody's going to really know for sure how much they're going to get, the trustee of the bankruptcy is going to ask you to provide them a copy of your tax return come February, March, or April, whenever you get it done. Typically.
So they'll wait. They're not going to try to do an average or look at last year's. They're going to wait for it.
They're going to wait. They'll keep your case open and wait. And then they looked at last year's tax return too, because for anyone that got a big tax refund the previous year, those people are going to automatically have to give the court their tax return to review to see if they had another big tax refund. Because the limitation is $1,000 that each person gets to protect of tax refund if they've already filed their bankruptcy and they haven't filed their taxes yet. That's how much they get to keep. Now, to even be able to keep your tax refund up to $1,000, you have to have paid in tax. So if you were self-employed and didn't pay estimated taxes, then you don't have a refund coming because you haven't paid anything in. So even if you generate a refund because of a business loss or something like that, where the government's giving you money, you may not be able to keep that. You may have to forfeit it. Now, if you've got a husband and wife filing together, well, then you can double your fund and double the money. But again, both people have to have contributed to that tax refund and have had money either taken out of their paycheck, or you would have had to have paid estimated tax payments.
Okay.
So we'll have people that come in, and the husband or the wife has a really good paying job, and the husband doesn't work, or the wife doesn't work, so there's only one working person. They're going to only be able to protect $1,000.
They're not going to get two just because it's double. Okay.
Or we'll have a self-employed husband who doesn't pay estimated taxes, and so he's working, and working really hard, and then we've got a wife that might work someplace, maybe make $50,000 a year, and she's having quite a bit taken out in taxes. Well, again, they may have a pretty nice tax refund, but they're going to only be able to protect $1,000. So it's important to remember that. Now there's additional money that we can get for tax refund money. We get a $1,000 wild card exemption that people get all times of the year, and they can apply $1,000 of value to anything they want. So this is an opportune time to apply it to get more tax refund money.
Okay.
Oftentimes people don't really need that wild card for anything else because a lot of people don't have stuff that isn't already protected in bankruptcy to use it on. So we're using it lots during the next 3 months to get more tax refund money coming in. And so again, to get the wild card, you still have to have a claim to the refund. So if you have that wild card of $1,000, but you were self-employed and didn't pay in, it's not going to do you any good. You don't get to use that to get more tax refund or to get any tax refund money.
Right, makes
so
sense.
Paying in is very important. Now, there's other types of money that is part of people's tax refunds that is completely protected. And so low-income families, single mothers that have children, well, I guess that would have to be the case. They can get really big tax refunds, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, where they've only made $9,000 or $10,000 all year in income because of the concept called an earned income tax credit.
Okay.
And so this is really a government entitlement. These folks really haven't paid in or overpaid their taxes where they're getting their taxes back. They may have only paid in $1,000 of actual real tax money that they're getting back, but the government just gives them another $8,000 or $9,000 to stimulate the economy.
Yeah, to kind of help them out. And that is going to be protected?
And that's all protected.
Okay.
The courts have interpreted that to be a government entitlement, and generally in the bankruptcy law, the government entitlements, at least in Iowa, have been given a protected status. And there's another component that often goes hand in hand with the earned income credit, and that's something called an additional child tax credit.
Okay.
I think they played around with that in this big tax overhaul they did to actually increase it. But that again, people are getting money above and beyond what they've actually paid in. So the government is just giving money to folks that are low income, so they have money to spend, in the economy.
Okay.
And so these are also protected. So it's just kind of important to and analyze how these tax refunds are, coming in and how big they are, because some of it might be all protected. You don't have to worry about it. And other people may have a big tax refund and it doesn't have these extra goodies in it where they're going to be all protected, and then you got to do some planning. Would
you recommend then people wait? If you're thinking of tax returns right now, is it important to maybe wait on filing bankruptcy, or this is the time you should be planning something like that?
Well, for some people that we see, they should wait. I mean, we will have reviewed the previous year's tax refunds, and if we see that they've set up their taxes where they're getting a big refund and the year's over, so it's not like you can change it and say, hey, you need to change your withholdings for a few months so you don't get so much back.
Right.
The year's done. So when we're looking at last year's tax returns and then this year's, and we're looking at how much earnings they made and if it's going to be a similar situation, sometimes we'll tell our client, look, we'll get your case prepared, but you need to wait to file till you get your refund back, because then you've got the money, and then the trick is you got to figure out what to do with the money, because if you're just holding on to it,
then you're still going to be affected.
You got $5,000 or $6,000, you're going to give it up. So you can put it into IRA accounts and other things that are protected when you file bankruptcy, so you get the full benefit of your refund. Or some things you may need to spend. People a lot of times are using this time of the year to catch up on things or fix things around the house, or they need to get another car. so they can at least use the money or hold on to the money and reinvest it into something that is protected. And so then the court isn't going to get their hands on it, and you'll have the full benefit of the refund. So planning is really important this time of the year, and you really need to discuss with your attorney, hey, am I going to lose my refund? Should I wait? And people are asking me these things when they come in right now, and so we give them good guidance so they don't have to forfeit a couple $1,000 because, you know,
that's a lot of money.
It hurts,
especially if you're dealing with financial issues, and that's why you need to talk to someone who knows all the rules and can protect your money and get you financially sound as we head into a new year. This is why we're talking about it now. It's an important topic, and as you said, Michael, one that many people are asking you right now. If they want to continue this conversation, if they have other questions about bankruptcy in general, maybe this is the right step for them in the new year, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, you can reach me at 255-1855. You can find us on the internet at www.iowa-bankruptcylaw.com, or you can follow us on Facebook.
Great topic this morning, Michael. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, get things going in the new year in the right step. So contact Jenkins Law Firm. We'll be right back. You're watching CW Iowa Live.